Welcome everyone to another edition of Introducing the Podcast. Hey, with your girl, Smart Video Girl. Hey, that's me. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition. Season 2 has been awesome. I think what we at episode 10. It's like, it's been a journey. I love doing this podcast. I love the guests that I have who've been on this season. We've had poets, we've had entrepreneurs, we've had historians, we've had um, all kinds of great people on the show this season. And I am so excited to continue to bring you new people, new things, and new ways of thinking. 2023 has been an amazing year for me. Okay, it has been a very much an amazing year for me. It has been one of transformation, it has been one of breakthrough, and has been one of self-realization. I declared at the beginning of this year I wanted to be a paid speaker, and literally, if you've been watching the show, you see that I've been I've been busy. I've been booked and busy. And so I'm just grateful for all the opportunities that continue to come into my world, the exposure that I'm getting. Earlier today, I did an interview on the Urban Sentinel. Their show is actually on the same time as my show. So we pre recorded that show. So make sure after you watch Introducing, that you make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, first and foremost, Only Greatness Media Production. And then I'll share the Urban Sentinel podcast with you as well so that you can hear my thoughts. We were talking about Black history, and it was a really great, engaging conversation. So I want to thank Reginald over at Urban Sentinel for having me on his show today. Again, this is Introducing the Podcast. We are here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday for this season. And we're going to go until about June, and then we're going to wrap it up and take a summer break. Um, and so make sure also too that you are following me over on Smart Video Girl on IG so that you can kind of keep up with what I have going on. So there's so many great things that's gonna happen. I'm telling you, just stay tuned and keep up. Pay attention. Don't lose touch because we're gonna have so many great things coming up. But today I am super excited because I have another, like, I love my people. I really do. I really do. Like last week I had my sis on from Hampton, and now I have my sis on from right here in Prince George's County, who's like, she's big sister to me, mentor. And we both have a common mentor in Dr. Dula, who you guys seen on the show as well earlier this year. So please help me welcome Miss Dr. Remi Duyile to the platform. Hey,
Hey,
Remi.
sis. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm super excited to have you with me today to talk about being internationally known. I had to bring Dr. Remi on. And I'm gonna say Dr. Remi. I'm gonna call you that because I want the people to, but me, that's sis to me. But I wanted to bring you on so that people can know who you are and all the great things that you do and continue to do in the community. So internationally known is not for any reason. Like it was an automatic when I was thinking about this show. You guys know how I like to name my shows very much on purpose and intentionally. But internationally known, especially for you, Dr. Remi Duyile, because you do work across continental lines. Like there are no borders when it comes to what you do in connecting people. So before we get into all of that, please just tell the people a little bit about who you are right now and what you do, especially with your organization, Legacy Premier Foundation.
Sure, sis. Thank you so much for creating this platform and congrats on all of the great work that you're doing. I'm so proud of all that you're doing and I'm so honored to be associated with you in all that you do. Yes, thank you for this platform. Who am
Mhm.
I? That's a question that Usually it takes me it's long-winded, but I'm Remi
You do a
Duyile.
lot. You do a lot. You do a lot.
I'm Remi Duyile, a mother, a very proud mother, a wife, a community leader that has purpose in my heart to pay it forward, to serve with all that I have, to be able to share what I've learned and be able to care to help others find themselves. And in the community that I have lived for over 40 something years and still counting, that's who Remi Duyile is. And Legacy Premier Foundation is a brand of Remi Duyile, just as a way to put all of those service related activities and passion driven initiatives in one household.
Hmm.
Hence, Legacy Premier Foundation was born in 2007 as a non-for-profit. And I'm a serial entrepreneur who have done a few things, have worked in corporate America as a vice president. I've raised three kids here in gorgeous Prince George's County who are grown and gone, doing great things. And I've mentored so many great men and women who I see doing great things. So for me, at this phase of my life is nothing but joy of seeing the work that has been done manifest in my side and ready to keep doing more and being more. And like you said, internationally, it's one thing that I see as a value addition to me. Now that the world is a global village, I already envisioned a world that will be a global village. But when COVID came, a lot of people who didn't envision it didn't have a choice. They had to come with it. Now you and I are virtually talking and we're still touching lives. So
Yes.
internationally known, every one of us should have that as part of what they're doing. What exactly is, I mean, what is important? People want to be inspired. People want to also get experiential learning and things that maybe they ordinarily couldn't get from a regular place that they go every time. Hearing someone they don't know share their experiences makes them to say, you know what? If this girl with four strikes, black, female, Nigerian accent can rise as a teller to vice president with an MBA in corporate America, I can do more. So those
Yes.
are the things that I pride myself in ensuring that I do. And thank you for being part of that journey because you have been part of that journey, really.
Thank you. I appreciate being a part of your journey. I've seen all of the work that you do, boots on the ground, really, and boots in the air, traveling uh, throughout the country, throughout the world. But really, you failed to mention that you're an author as well. You have a book. You also teach at Bowie State University. And I just want to highlight those things because a lot of the work that you do, I've seen this in what you do and how you operate. It is always into pouring into other people. Um, Even with I hear you talk about your students and how it really is because we were just on a show together this past weekend. Let's Talk Politics with Dr. James Dula. And we were talking about, what the new generation, what the upcoming generation needs or is looking for as they kind of move forward. And that's the work that you do with Legacy Premier to make sure that we're passing on that's capable and is ready to take on the world. So I want to applaud you for all the work that you do in the community, sis.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you. And the work that we all do is so
Mhm.
needful. To whom much is given, much is required. When you have shoulders like the Dr. Doulas of this world and many, many others who have allowed their shoulders to be leaned on so we can be
Mhm.
who God has called us to be, it behooves
Mhm.
us to do the same to others.
Mhm.
Hence my journey. I didn't know that my journey to academia would come so quickly. Be careful what you wish for because it came quickly and I'm
Yes.
excited because if you remember all the conversations and things that I've been doing has always been, you know what, with all this experiential learning and things that I've done in the community, how can I make financial literacy a hallmark of
Mhm.
something that I can pass on in the classroom. So therefore, I do not have to Google financial literacy. I was literally a financial literacy expert, being in corporate America,
Yes.
being in banking, seeing people telling people they need to save money, they need to also build credit, all of those things that people need, budgeting. Hence, I'm in the classroom doing the same, teaching finance to
Mhm.
the young leaders, especially the freshmen and the sophomore. Occasionally, we'll get seniors. The class I teach is an elective, but it opens students to financial literacy, and that's what I've always desired.
Mhm.
Because in corporate America, I saw how difficult it was for those who didn't prepare to build their credit, those who didn't prepare to save. They lost out on opportunities, not just always because of the color of their skin or who they are. It's knowledge. I knew that knowledge was essential. So I was so thankful when the Lord allowed me to land in the classroom. Not only that, to be able to impact this young leaders who are up and coming, who I can see the beginning, and by the end of the semester, they see the value of savings, how they have to deny themselves of going to Starbucks every day, maybe cut it to two, thereby saving $15 a week. So all of those little stuff becomes what they embrace by the time the semester is over. So I am always excited that the journey now is now. I thought it would be farther down the road, but it
Yeah,
happened.
you really do have to be careful what you ask for, when you're
Yes.
talking about, I'm big on, asking for what you want, but be careful because when you really start to get into a flow and when you really are in alignment with what God has you to do, it can come real quick. It could come in the blink of an eye, and it really is you just stating that, hey, I'm ready to do that. So he will answer those he will answer those calls. So I want to talk about a little bit about the work that you're doing. You actually, as a representative for Bowie, you got to travel to was it Asia?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
tell us, like, how is it being able to try, and then you do a lot of work uh cross continental with Africa, with business with Legacy Premier Foundation. How is it, what is it like when you're trying to build these bridges internationally? Like, what is your goal with that?
Right. The first goal, thank you for that question. The first focus is having that intergenerational mindset, being
Mhm.
intentional about making sure that all of us come along together, because the young have what they need, the old have what they need. But I believe that there are things that we need from each other. Like, for instance, you know me, sis, I am not a computer techie.
Mhm.
When it comes to
Mhm.
all these gadgets and this and that, count me out. I'll do the minimal. But you, the smart video girl, you know how you do it, how you
Mhm.
make things look so glamorous and presentable. Me,
Mhm.
I am just going to give you the content from my head, from my
Yeah.
heart, but I would not be that one that can package it to look pretty. Hence, the newer generation, they can do that in their sleep.
Mhm.
So I tell people that the reverse mentorship is what's up right now. Yes, you might
Mm.
say I have a mentor. You better have that reverse mentorship mindset, meaning you should be willing to learn from your mentees because they've
Yeah.
got what it takes to take you off that hump of
Yeah.
getting stuck or doing things in a cake way.
Mhm.
All they just need to do is breathe a fresh of fresh
Breath of
air,
fresh
and
air.
boom, you're like,
Mhm.
what? And all you've been trying to wink in the dark to do blossoms, and your register is ringing, and your door is being knocked, and you're getting exposure, and you're being packaged well, and you're still just doing the same thing of sharing knowledge. But knowledge
Mhm.
has to be shared in a very special, presentable way. And that's why where that intergenerational bridge building makes sense. Sharing and caring,
Mhm.
battering what you have for what you don't have. A lot of times we can't pay. Some those of us who have small businesses, we don't always have the resources to have a fully paid individual. But if you really care and the person knows they can learn from you, they can learn it through your network, they can go around with you where they can get exposure. it becomes a wash, but never make anybody feel like you're using them. Nobody
Amen.
falls for that. It's just a matter of time. It's not going to fly. But
Hmm.
have the heart that we're growing together, and have that respectable heart of caring and knowing that every human being matters regardless of their age. So for me, being in that space and being able to travel the world, and I know it's very possible even before COVID, that we just have to be intentional about relationship. I've been
Hmm.
to Asia, I mean Thailand to be specific, Dubai, and all those places. Some of the things that I do has no boundary. What I
Hmm.
offer is in a suitcase. That suitcase is my heart, is my head, is the
Amen.
likes of you, packaging it well so that it gets to be modern, but in my head comes the experience. So experiential learning is very, very critical in most of the institutions these days. We want
Hmm.
our students to have that experiential learning. Yes, they have the classroom learning where they learn the technical stuff, but that experiential learning of literally saying, why am I budgeting? Yes, you want to get a straight A in the class, but it's beyond that. It's
Hmm.
tying it to why you need to budget, not just to do a budget assignment so you can get a grade. Doing a
Right.
budget, adopting a budget style of life so
I
that
love that.
you too can convert that to your real life. That's what's up right now, and it's
Expansion.
working big time.
I love that. I love that. It's, like that hands-on learning. I definitely believe traveling is important, especially for youth, kids, children, teenagers, anybody who hasn't gone outside of their, like, if you haven't gone outside of your area where you live, you very much have a very sheltered mindset. You don't understand that when you go places, you run into people who have the same issues, cares, thoughts sometimes as you do. And you don't realize that just because there are seas dividing us, or there, border lines, state lines, city lines for that matter, that we're people, and that even though we may be miles apart, but there is still a connectedness, and there's still a commonality. And what you're talking about, the heart and the mind, and sharing that story, I think that's important for everyone to kind of gauge. So I appreciate you, sis, because you lead with that. You lead with love. You're everywhere you go. Like Dr. Remy is the same Dr. Remy, no matter where she is, and it's very authentic. And so you guys know that I'm all for authenticity. That's the thing that I'm your authenticity coach. And so I really appreciate people who can show up authentically in all times and all ways, because then you really truly get to see their heart and what it is that they stand for, and what it is that they want to accomplish in life. And Dr. Remy, her spill has been the same from day one. And we met we met a while ago. It's
Yeah.
so very interesting that you started Legacy Premiere in 2007.
Yes.
That's when I started doing radio. So that's really
Yes.
interesting. I think we just learned that. I just learned that. I
Yes.
just learned that
Yes.
about you.
Yeah, and I'll pick up on that word, that one of my favorite word, that authenticity is
Yes.
so real. Because when you're authentic, you don't have to figure, oh, what did I say the last time? What did I do? You're just you. People can finish your sentence. People can sing your song. People
Hmm.
can say, oh, I know she can do this. I know she can do that. And it's a
Yeah.
lot easier. It doesn't stress you.
Hmm.
Come the best you can be. Your best might not be the best for somebody else right now, but you know what effort you've put into that best. So
Wow.
you
I
better
love
pat yourself on the back for
that.
that moment, because that best can only get better. Because as you connect with people who are like-minded like you, like when I've done my tour of my book, Perseverance, Winning Key to Your Destiny, did the road show. We were all over the place, London, Dubai. I mean, you did all the documentary for me. One thing that opened my eyes there was we are all searching for the same thing. We are
Yes.
all looking to be the best version of who we are. who we have
Yes.
been created to be. So along the line, as we find such, we might step on each other's toes. Some of us might think that I have to get there quickly, and whatever they have to do, bulldoze everybody out of the way. No, no, because you burn bridges; those bridges will never be mended easily. Yes, we
Mhm.
forgive because we are children of faith, but we don't forget.
Mm.
Forgiveness is not the same as forgetting. No. So we've
Yeah.
got to be mindful of how we treat people, because
Mm.
all of those places, same thing you're saying, that consistent. Oh, we were expecting to be somebody like this, somebody like this. They were just thinking somebody. Oh, you're Dr. Remy. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Yes, she is.
We were expecting somebody this and that. So when they hear the resume and all of that, those are just assignment that was put in my hands. Those were
Mhm.
assignment that is making me feel full and thankful
Mhm.
that
Fulfillment.
I will one day die empty. But the
Mhm.
fullness now is to be able to birth it through
Yes.
partnerships, through aligning with people who know my worth, people who I know their worth. So
Mm.
my book, Picking Perseverance, was not accidental. I could have picked any other topic. But I know that the message I want to get across is when you hear everybody with all these accolades and titles and so on and so forth, they've been through some persevering, I can assure you. They have
Mhm.
been through some things, but you hear the glory, you don't see the story. So I
Mm.
want everybody to be able to understand that nothing can stop them from being who they want to be. If they have one person anchoring their faith in whoever their God is, somebody bigger than any man, any mentor, any name that you think is deal, perseverance will get you there. It might not
Mhm.
be your own time, but it will get you there, and it will get you the fullness of who you are. When I look at the antecedents of what I've experienced the past few years, yes, I dabbled into running for office because that is another phase of service that I still need to ensure that I am rightfully positioned to do. But it
Yes.
didn't it didn't stop or kill my spirit at all. That was part of the journey. You know
Yes.
how many years we started the planning. You were there at the drawing table. So
Yes.
all of those things are planned, but you've got to carry your life as a purpose-driven vehicle.
Mm.
Everybody will have great things happening excitedly, but you better be in tune with yourself. And that's the strength I thank God that I have. I'm
Yes, you
always
too.
in tune with myself. I always like to celebrate people. I have no qualms of envying if something is going great, because I know my time will come. If I
Yeah.
want something, I know I'm going to get it. If it's so needed, God will make it happen because I can put in
Amen.
the work. So if
Yeah.
you're listening to us and you're thinking, oh, internationally known, it's just that consistency in what you can do and doing it so that people don't worry how many people are watching or who are with you. One with God is a majority. Just being consistent, do what you need to do on a consistent basis. That will help you build your brand. And when your
Yes.
brand is built, no, you will not need to look for people. People
Yeah.
will see that
People will come to
and
you.
they will come because they want to rub off of that knowledge that you
Yes.
are displaying for free. And sometimes you might have to sow before you reap.
Hmm. Well, that's you
You
got to
have,
plant the harvest before you can. You got to
there
plant
you
the
go.
seed before you can reap the
Let's bring
harvest.
church up in here.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, you brought that home. I love what you're saying because it really like I'm totally honest. I learned so much from you, sis. Just in your tenacity, just in you staying in the game and being and showing up as your authentic self in all ways. Like you really have been a staple for me, an example for that. Because again, like I said, this is Dr. Remi Duyile, and is and it so I know, like she was saying before we got on the show, it's like I know the story. She just does the work, but I've been witness to how she's transitioned, how she's grown, how she's moved, and how she's gone into rooms and been in places and done things and is making a difference and continues in the effort, you know what I'm saying, without what it without worrying about what it looks like. Of course, you want to present professionally. You want people, to people to know that you know what you're talking about, but it's not about um what it looks like. It's not about, but it's the substance behind the work that you're doing. It's the impact that the work is going to be, that is going to be made by the work and the efforts that you're doing in the community. So I just love that. And you just hit it right on saying it being internationally known is not about status. It's not about popularity. It's about people knowing who Dr. Remi Duyile is for her authenticity, for her being that person who shows up and comes through as she does. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So real quick, you guys, we do new things and new ways of thinking, and I have a brand new commercial for you guys. But first, I want to just give you my calendar so you can see all the things that I'm doing. So it has been a very busy month. Um, yeah, it has been a very busy month. So this Thursday, actually in 2 days, I'll be doing a workshop on The Work Is You Thursday at 2 p.m. on Facebook. And we're going to be taking a look at your butt. How are you using butt in your life? Are you using it as an excuse? Or are you using it as an example of faith? Are you using it to say, but God? Okay. So how are you using butt? We're going to take a look at your butts. Okay. And then in April, I have so many things coming up in April. One of them being the 3-day virtual summit, Passion, Purpose, and Peace. I'll be on one of those days, so make sure that you follow me. And I'll give you the details for that. It's my birthday. My birthday month is coming up April 22nd. And so I will be celebrating. And some of you guys will be getting invites very, very soon. Yes. And then on the 30th, I will be speaking at the Wind Down, Just Breathe event workshop as your authenticity coach. So I look forward to that. And trust me, I think that event is almost sold out. So if you want to go, make sure that you scan the QR code so that you can make that event. Okay. Okay. And like I said, we're going to make sure you tune in this Thursday at 2 o'clock on Facebook. Follow Do the Work, Keep the Faith, and we'll be talking about taking a look at our butts, okay? But right now, you guys know Be Earth You is the brand, or is the apparel brand that I started, the lifestyle brand that promotes living your authentic life. So we're gonna play a quick commercial, and then we'll be back with Dr. Remi Duyile right after this break.
You are unique by design. Designed to be you. Renewed. Be Earth You. A lifestyle brand that promotes living authentic. Redesign your mind. And remember that there is only one you. Live authentically. Be Earth You. Visit www.beearthyou.com where everything happens for a reason and all things are working in your favor.
Hey, all right, we're back. So as you can see, quick break, new things going on.
Yes.
And I am joined here with Dr. Remi Duyile, who is an author, a speaker, educator, uh, and founder of Legacy Premier Foundation. And today we're talking about being internationally known. And we're talking about it in the frame of mind of showing up authentically, showing up as yourself, and so that you almost attract the people that are for you. No matter where you go, you're going to attract those people who are for you, whatever that is. They resonate with your message, they are attracted to your energy, whatever that may be. But that can only really happen if you're showing up authentically. That can only really happen if when you walk in the door, you are yourself. You're not pretending to fit in, but you are there being yourself. Because if you try to be a chameleon in the sense, people will not recognize you when you go different places. They be like, wait a minute, you was like this the other day. So it really is being authentic, showing up in all ways at all times as your authentic self, internationally known. Dr. Remi Duyile is joining me today. So thank you again, sis, for being here with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
I don't know if I can say something when you were saying being yourself. I know
yeah.
some of our viewers are probably thinking, how do I do that? What
Yeah.
is that? Because sometimes when people don't do what they're supposed to do, it's not always because they know what to do.
Hmm.
It's because they don't know what to do. So, and I was in that boat so many, many moons ago. But what you can do to deliver yourself from those moments is getting knowledge. Knowledge doesn't mean go to school and get a degree and all that. Is finding what is your passion and finding ways to understand better how can you pull what you would need to do to serve others. What
Hmm.
is that vision that's bigger than you that you're chasing or that's chasing you, so other people can align and pitch in and help here and there. What that does for you, it helps you to build that brand, and it makes that authenticity your buzzword, because you know you have a crystal out there who's going to make you look good with your packaging and your video recording and all that stuff that's needed when you need to show up on the stage to represent. So
Hmm.
if you're listening to us, you already have an authentic coach who you can talk to about that. But being yourself is something you would need to work on. You don't need to be a
Yes.
carbon of anybody. We only have people are looking for your real self, not
Hmm.
any carbon, because you are just you. And I think that if we do that more, especially now that social media is so big a deal in our lives, we can
Hmm.
click of a button. You don't need visas to go to some places now if you're just going to virtually do stuff. You could
Yes.
be in Thailand, in Dubai, in India, in Africa, in Nigeria, and any African nations, just by click of a button, just by engaging with someone or an issue or a provision that you want to learn more about.
This is true.
And then
Absolutely.
eventually you land yourself into a teamwork and you keep making the world a better place.
I
So,
love that. I love that. You spoke about it. Do the work. And I say my tagline is, my coaching program is called Do the Work, Keep the Faith. And my tagline is the work is you. The work is not things, it's not, busy in all these projects that yes, we do have that, but the work is you. So the work is getting to who you are, discovering who you are. And again, if you need help with that, you can contact me and I can I can help you out. Okay. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about Legacy Premier Foundation, and I want to talk about this new venture kind of that you have with the business chamber, where you're bringing businesses and things together. Tell us a little bit about what that project or what you're working on and what you're developing, because we're doing some really good things with that.
yes, thank you so much. We are so, so excited. About 2 years ago, of course, Legacy Premier Foundation is solely focused on underserved community in the area of financial literacy, business development, and community empowerment. So the whole gamut, the totality of who we can become through a one-stop access to a nonprofit that also have partnerships with other resource providers. That's what Legacy does. It's a one-stop shop where we can all come together and leverage the resources that we have. And the partnerships are going to be very essential. So you just asked that, with Legacy being there, and what are we doing and how are we doing it? We're just doing things that are essential to what we say our mandate is. Legacy Global Business Network has been around for almost a little before COVID. We would go, and I think Sister for Sister also was part of it. We would go to a restaurant in the morning from 8 to 10 and just meet and greet. You know, they're
Mhm.
ethnically diverse businesses that, for them to integrate into the system, they don't even have to be from another country. There's some people whose style of integration is not the usual go to a big chamber, get into a room where you don't know anybody, and then you feel lost. For what we are building is an organic authentic business roundtable, purpose driven, with purposeful membership,
Mhm.
people who are doing it big in their corporate setting, who now have businesses on the side as a side gig that they want to be able to build. And when it's built, they can say goodbye to their 9 to 5. So, what
Mhm.
we do at Legacy Global Business Network is the ability to share our network, number one, to identify with our members, to let them know that government is the largest procurement of services. So if you
Mhm.
are there and you don't have your certification, we want to encourage you to figure out how to have that. Have it ready, leave ready. Don't wait till there's an opportunity and they say, "Oh, do you have this?" And you're like, "Oh, I don't." It might take you a month. The deal opportunity might not wait for a month. So
Mhm.
I've been there. So all of the experiences that our board members have lived, we're trying to ensure that we make it easier for those who are coming behind. And when I say people coming behind, not just younger people, there are people who are starting their entrepreneurial journey after retirement.
Yes. Mhm.
So those people too deserve attention. So that's what we've been doing. We're excited. We're doing it virtually right now, but by June, God willing, we're going to do it face to face and it will be in the morning. Right now, we have a virtual experience that we do in the evening. But what we're finding out, in order to find the right people that we want to be in the room to come, we've got to do it within their hours that they
Mm.
are already operating. Otherwise, it will be like pulling teeth having guests. But we
Yeah.
believe that those who this matters to, they'll find a way to take that 2 hours. It's once a month. They'll invest that 2 hours to ensure that they get what they want to build. And as we build, we want to build others. This is not about one person shining like a star and everybody pulling. No, we're not doing a crab mentality. We're ego. We can all rise together and we're intentional. The goal will be to have incubator programs where one day soon we will have our own multi cultural center of business incubation. That is the goal. People who have experiences, people who have different orientation, we have all come together to make things work, to have a good life for our family, to start leaving inheritance for our children's children. We cannot leave anybody behind, but not all of us are going to learn the same way. So we're saying all of this appropriation that's already out there. The government might say, yes, I'm already doing it, but we're not doing a check the box kind of a run. We're doing a real deal. So when we're checking the box, is your register ringing? So you got a
Mhm.
certificate. What's that? What did that do? So we're taking it a little deeper because I know how painful it can to be in a system and not be able to leverage the system and make it work for you. I've been around for a minute and I don't
Yeah.
want, and so do my board members, we do not want people to experience pain when the resources that they never like before. We have it so good. We have the first African American governor. When you look at the my county here in Prince George's, we have so many diverse people who have occupied the county council.
Mhm.
The first African American. I mean, so many people who have diverse orientation, who can understand what pain somebody is going through. Let's now
Mhm.
take it down to the federal level. We have people, congressmen, senators, and people who we can take our apply to on our business initiative. So it would behoove us to just sit there and dare. We need to dare to be different, and we are
Mhm.
different, and that's what we're doing. Maybe the next time we come to when you invite me to your show, I will tell you more of the things we've done. We've made our connections with the various levels of government.
Mhm.
We're not paying. This is not playing time. This is a movement. Talk
Yes.
is cheap. We want to create economic empowerment for our community. And we're going to do it intentionally and authentically. And together we can prosper.
I love that. And you talk about economic empowerment. You know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. You mentioned that you're a serial entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship. There's so many people that entrepreneurship. People who retire. I know some retirees who now are fully engaged in entrepreneurial efforts. You know,
Mhm.
entrepreneurship is just is definitely a way for the common, quote unquote, common person to really build up equity for themselves, to create a legacy, as such as your names,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
family. And it's
Mhm.
very important, and economic empowerment is very important, and knowing the right things to do. So that's why, if you know, you I'm going to put the information down here at the bottom if you want to um, follow Dr. Remi. Find her on LinkedIn or IG. But it is very important that we, as businesses, have, because I too have missed opportunities for not being positioned properly. And as simple as making sure that you're registered, making sure that you have a a business bank account, and these are the things that really that you do with Legacy Premier Foundation. And then especially branching off, specifically paying attention to the businesses in the enterprise with the Legacy Business Global, um what is it, roundtable
Legacy, yeah, Legacy Global Business Network.
network. That's it. I couldn't even read my handwriting. So those things are very important. It's key in order for us to grow and to make some of these connections. So, like, going back to being internationally known, we have someone here who has connections. She's been places. So you now not only working in your immediate community, you can expand. And like you said, with the access to the internet, you can literally do business anywhere in any corner of the world.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
really is about positioning yourself, making sure that you present professionally, that you have the proper paperwork, and that you're really again showing up authentically. These are like, it's almost like a recipe in order to make sure that you can continue to be successful. And not and notice that we didn't say worry about how many people that you have. And even though, because that we know will come over time, it really is about positioning yourself and being prepared and being authentic, so that when the opportunities come in and flood in like a, come in like a flood, that you're ready and that you're prepared. And and Dr. Remi Duyile is definitely qualified. As you, if you missed the first part of the show, she talks about her journey, like, starting in corporate America as a bank teller. Like, financial literacy and education empowerment is definitely has been in her blood from the beginning. So I just want to ask you that question. Where did that come from? Like, I don't think I ever asked you that. Like, how did you get into to finance?
Right. Thank you. As a young girl in my home country, birth country, Nigeria, when I go with my sisters to the bank or some of my elders, I saw the dressing, the way the bankers look. They always
Mm,
look all dressed up and pretty. And secondly, when my sister, who I would follow to the bank, who had a school then, would sit at their desk with a problem, she would come in with some issues that she wants to be resolved. By the time she leaves their desk, she's smiling, everything is looking good. So I'm like, okay, I like this. I like to solve problems and I like to look good. And I mean, so that was how I decided to say, you know what? I think this is cool. This is what I'm going to do. So I got my MBA and went in as a teller. I knew that I couldn't go straight to looking for a job that an MBA holder
Mhm,
needed, because I didn't have work experience that mirrored someone who would get the usual management trainee job, because I was babysitting when I was in school. So I can get my
mhm.
education, because initially it was get educated, get finished, and go back home after schooling. But we're still here ever after. And that's how the birth of my passion. And when I got here, I dug deep in it and I saw that, yeah, if I can solve problems and I can look good along the way, hey, bring it on.
Yes, and you rose from teller to what did you end up being?
Vice president.
Vice president. So again, and she says four strikes, what I'm saying, four strikes against her. And but she persevered through, and all of that in preparation for where we are today and the work that you're doing now. So understand, I'm going to go back and put this up because I really did like this. It's like you hear the glory, but you don't see the story. Amen. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to write that one down. I love that one, sis. I'm going to have to, they have to comment on it because that is a lot of times when we're looking at people that we see and we're like, oh, wow, they've done such great work and they've made such great strides. It's like you sometimes don't realize the story and journey that they've been through and where they've come from in order to accomplish the things that they have done. So that is really that's really something empowering to keep in mind as you are journeying through your own personal story. You know that it is you're going to get to a point and you're going to have a great story, and it all tells a little bit about how you end up at this glorious spot. So we're going to do some closing remarks, sis. Just let me know. Do you have any like final words or anything that you want to say to
Sure.
the people
Yeah,
before
my
we?
final words will be pretty much treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important to value human being, not
Mm-hmm.
title, because you don't know what they are carrying.
Mm-hmm.
What you see now is what you see. And that's why, Krista, you wonder why I have this authentic, knowing, confident, and all of that, because I know what I'm carrying. And I
Mm-hmm.
always want to ask people, what bus stop did you meet me? Was it the bus stop when my father cared for me? And I was just like the best thing since sliced bread. And that confidence was built in me as a young girl, knowing that was cared for unconditionally and also told to do hard work. That the only thing that can stop me from greatness is hard work. All of that were in me. So you can't meet me now and think that you're going to intimidate me because
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to happen. So when we do our journey, our paths will cross again. So it's so important to treat people with respect, especially treat them the way they need to be treated because you might need them again. And
Mm-hmm.
if you need them again and they remember that the first time you met, it wasn't all that great, that
Mm-hmm.
help might be stalled. They won't deny it. And you can say, well, God will open another door. Yes. But why don't you show that people matter? And you will in turn receive the reward of what you give. And that has been the story of my life. People say, you're doing all of those things. So I'm telling our viewers, be yourself, respect others, continue to be authentic, and continue to feed yourself with knowledge through experience, through volunteerism. I volunteer strategically because the only way you can have access to a room is to volunteer. Some rooms you can't pay to even come in.
Mm-hmm.
So
This is
you
true.
gotta know that, and that will help you to build. And let me just say that everything will work out. I can promise you that. And it will work out and end in praise and joy. And that's what we
Love
all
that.
deserve.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love it. You guys, so be yourself, treat others as people, see them as people. You know, if we really start to see people as a reflection of ourselves, then we will treat them how we, treat others like you would like to be treated, or even better. Because if you don't, you know, and um, grow, continue to grow, always be learning, and then contribute. And what you guys know, I love those last two. Growth and contribution are two main things that I always instill in people. Because if you're not growing, then you're dead. Like if you feel like you know everything, if you've learned everything, then what purpose do you serve? Especially if you're not pouring and contributing it to someone else. And like Dr. Remy mentioned earlier, that reverse mentoring. So, we can learn from each other. We can learn from one another. If you feel as though, back to that, you know everything, then your teachability has dwindle down to zero, and you're not open to the possibilities of what you can learn from someone else's glory. All
Mhm.
right. Again, if you want to follow Dr. Remi Duyile or Legacy Premier Foundation, it is scrolling at the bottom. LinkedIn and IG at Remi Duyile, and that's Duyile. I want to thank you again, sis,
Okay.
for being here with me. I know you're very busy and you're doing a whole lot of great things, and I really do appreciate you taking the time as we wrap up and we're in the midst of Women's History Month. It's great to have more women on here who are doing great things in the community. So I want to thank you so much again, people. If you if you don't already, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast channel on YouTube at Only Greatness Media. And make sure you follow me over on IG at Smart Video Girl. I will be back next week, next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget and tell a friend to tell a friend, because we will be here and we will be having great conversation with another great guest right here on Introducing the Podcast. Until next week, you all be blessed. See you then.
You are unique by design. Designed to be you. Renewed. Be Earth You. A lifestyle brand that promotes living authentic. Redesign your mind. And remember that there is only one you. Live authentically. Be Earth You. Visit www.beearthyou.com, where everything happens for a reason and all things are working in your favor.